Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Beth Ann, and today I'm going to talk about my Nonfiction November TBR, which is not, it's only like 5 books. Oh, wait, this is the wrong book. Pause. Unpause. Okay, I had the wrong Isabel Wilkerson book in my stack, and I want to read Cast and The Warmth of Other Suns, but I want to start with Cast. So, anyway, here's my edited pile. Okay, so I assume everyone who might see this is aware of what Nonfiction November is, but it's a month where you're encouraged to read more nonfiction than you usually would. That's the only requirement. It's hosted by Olive over at A Book Olive, so I will link to her announcement video for this year below. And I am really excited about Nonfiction November because this is the first reading challenge / reading theme month that I did as a new booktuber last fall. So I have a soft spot in my heart for it. But I also really like it because I have a ton of nonfiction books lying around that I just tend to not prioritize in my usual reading. And so this makes me shop my own shelves and pick out some nonfiction books that I really want to get to. So as usual, there are 4 prompts. And the prompts for this year are collection, industry, style, and treatment. So let's just go with it. Okay, so for collection, I have this nondescript looking book. It must have had a jacket at some point, but it was published in 1985, and I think I got it from the Free Book Warehouse in Baltimore. This is Outer Banks Tales to Remember, and it's a collection, hence fitting the prompt, of I think sort of like folk stories about the Outer Banks, written by someone who actually did sort of a series of books of these. So I'm just taking one more quick look at the introduction. Yeah, so his name is Charles Wedby. He lived in Nags Head, North Carolina. And this is the 4th in a series of books that are about the Outer Banks. So yeah, a collection of tales about the Outer Banks. This has just been on my shelf for a while. I've spent some time in the Outer Banks, and my husband is from North Carolina and has spent a lot of time in the Outer Banks. So I was just sort of curious to read some of these more sort of folky tales about it. So that's for collection. Then prompt number 2, industry. What is more industrious in our culture than bees? Busy bees. So I'm going to pick up a book that has been on my shelves for a while, A Book of Bees by Sue Hubble. And I can't remember, I think someone might have given this to me a really long time ago. And I'm a bee scientist, so I should read it. I don't know that much about it, and there isn't that much information on the back, but I think it's a little bit sort of memoir-y, so it's going to include some of just like her personal life and reflections, and I think it might be honeybee focused. I think it might be, even though this is not a honeybee on the cover, but I think it might be honeybee focused. I think she might have hives, and so it might be talking about sort of how her life is progressing with the progress of her hives or something. But anyway, it's about bees, and it's on my shelf, so it's a bit embarrassing that I haven't read it yet as a professional bee person. I don't do honeybee stuff. That's hence that little tangent about the honeybees. I work with all the other bees out there. But anyway, excited to get to this one. If I do finish it in November, look for a video if it is about honeybees, or I rant about how they put a bumblebee on the cover of a book about honeybees. But it might include other bees, so we're going to reserve judgment about the cover choice. Okay, then prompt number 3 is style, and I'm going a bit out of the box for this one. I'm going with an inordinate fondness for beetles. If you've been on my channel before, you know that I like to read coffee table books, and I picked a coffee table book as one of my books for Nonfiction November last year. This one has also been sitting on my shelf for a while. I helpfully wrote the year I acquired it on the inside cover. It was January 2011. But this is just sort of a summary of beetle biology and just an ode to beetle love, I think. The reason that I picked it for the style prompt is because it has beautiful photographs of beetles, and I'm trying to find some that really show off how stylish they are. Okay, so here's one. For example, look at these gorgeous, stylish beetles. Am I right? I mean, look, they've got like clean black and white lines. They're just beautiful. So this book is full of images like that. And there was also one image I saw as I was flipping through earlier of beetle parts made into a necklace. And I was like, well, that's jewelry, that style. Here's another beautiful picture of some longhorned beetles. So I'm counting this for the style. If nothing else, it's inspiration for style with all of the patterns and color combinations. So I'm going with that. All right, then prompt number 4, treatment. So I'm going with history as treatment of a topic. And in this case, also treatment of some historically oppressed people in the U.S. So sort of multiple angles, I guess. So these are both books that have been languishing on my TBR for a few months because I actually intended to read these as part of the Big Book Summer Challenge hosted by Sue Jackson, and I utterly failed because the summer is my busy season at work, and then I had a big cross-country move at the end of the summer. So we are prioritizing these in the month of November. So we have Cast, The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson, which is, it's been all around BookTube. Or do I want to read The Warmth of Other Suns first? Well, anyway, it'll be either this one or The Warmth of Other Suns, but it'll probably be this one. I'm really excited about this one because it's essentially an argument for how we have a caste system in the United States with our white supremacist institution that ranks people essentially in a hierarchy of oppression. So I definitely want to read this. And then I have Lakota America by Pekka Hämäläinen, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing incorrectly, and I should look that up. But this is an indigenous history of part of the U.S. Centered on the Lakota people. And I lived on, I think adjacent to Lakota lands when I was in eastern Minnesota for the past 3 years. So I picked this up while I was there, and I meant to read it while I was there. But time to read it now. So this is obviously a fair amount of reading because Lakota America and Cast are both, they're both somewhat chunky, but I also expect them to be pretty heavy reading. The Beetle book has really tiny print, and so even though it has lots of gorgeous photos, the really tiny print might slow me down. And then these two are nice and thin. So I'm not necessarily expecting to finish all 5 of these books in November because I also have some fiction reading that I don't want to let fall by the wayside. In particular, some buddy reads that I definitely want to commit to better than I've been committing to buddy reads recently. But I will at least start and make substantial progress in all 5 of these books in November. So that is my Nonfiction November TBR. So who else is doing it? I'm starting to see TBR videos around BookTube. If I haven't yet seen yours and you're planning to do it and have a TBR video up, go ahead and link it down below, please. Actually, I guess YouTube doesn't like links. Well, let me know that it exists and I'll go find it. If you don't have a BookTube, but you are planning to participate in Nonfiction November, please let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear what you're reading as well. So with that, I'll sign off. But can't wait to see what happens next month with my own reading and the huge variety of nonfiction that I expect to be exposed to from everyone else's reading. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.